When I tried to kick him, I just put halfway. He fit in my face. And they stopped there. I posed. They asked me, "How is it?" At 72, martial arts legend Sammo Hung shares an intimate look into his experiences with the iconic Bruce Lee. Known for his dynamic energy and groundbreaking contributions to martial arts cinema, Sammo Hung has captivated fans worldwide with his creativity and skill. For the first time, he opens up about his personal relationship with Bruce Lee, offering rare insights into the life and legacy of the martial arts pioneer. But before diving into these fascinating revelations, let's first explore Sammo Hung's early life and the remarkable journey that shaped his career. Sammo Hung's early life and career. Born on January 7, 1952 in Hong Kong, Sammo Hung came from a family deeply entrenched in the film industry. His father, Chin Ching Gan, was an actor from Shanghai, and his mother worked as a wardrobe artist. Because of their demanding jobs, Hung was raised mainly by his grandparents, who were famous people in the Hong Kong film business. His grandmother, Chin Itzi-ong, participated in more than 80 films, and his grandfather, Hung Chung-ho, was a director who worked between 1937 and 1950. These formative experiences instilled in Hung a lifelong interest in film. At the age of 9, Hung joined the prestigious China Drama Academy, a Peking opera school in Hong Kong, where he trained rigorously in martial arts, acrobatics, and acting under the guidance of Master Yu Jim Yuan. He became a key member of the Seven Little Fortunes, a group that included future stars like Jackie Chan and Yuan Biao. In the meantime, he used the character name Yuan Lung, following the custom of using the master's surname. Hung's acting career started shortly after matriculating at the academy, first appearing in Education of Love 1961, and then sharing the screen with Jackie Chan in Big and Little Wong Tin Bar 1962. Already at the age of 14, he started working at Shaw Brothers Studio as an assistant for action director Han Ying-jie as Come Drink With Me 1966. His breakthrough came in 1973 when he appeared as a sparring partner in Bruce Lee's Enter the Dragon, a role that introduced him to a broader audience and paved the way for his future in action cinema. In the years that followed, Hung became known for his unique blend of martial arts and comedy. His directorial debut came in 1977 with Iron-Fisted Monk, showcasing his innovative choreography and storytelling. Throughout the late 1970s and 1980s, he became a household name in Hong Kong cinema, starring in and directing successful films like Encounters of the Spooky Kind, 1980, The Prodigal Son, 1981, and The Magnificent Butcher, 1979, solidifying his status as a versatile filmmaker. His work with Jackie Chan and Yuan Biao, notably in films such as Project A, 1983, and Wheels on Meals, 1984, mixed high-paced action with wit, creating icons of Hong Kong cinema. Hung's contribution to the martial arts film genre is undeniable, as is his skills in creating intricate fight sequences, incorporating at the same time both emotional richness and irony and comedy. His dual contributions as both an actor and director helped shape the genre's future, leaving an indelible mark that continues to influence martial arts films today. Throughout his career, Hung founded various production companies, such as Garbo Motion Picture Company and Boho Films, which created several blockbusters during the golden age of Hong Kong film. His work advanced the workmanship of action choreography and narrative storytelling, in turn directing the trajectories of martial arts movies. Challenges. Sammo Hung faced Hung's experience, although successful, was far from smooth. Hung sustained a critical leg injury while exercising at the China Drama Academy in his teenage years. Although the details of the injuries remained scarce, it was severe enough to confine him to bed for an extended period. At this pivotal moment in his life, As he transitioned from intense training to a budding film career, Hung recalled the pain, and his master Yu Jim Yuan's insistence that he continue performing despite his limp. The aftermath of the injury proved difficult. Without training for 2 months, Hung accumulated a considerable amount of weight that he ascribed to his inactivity and eating. This period of recovery coincided with an adolescent growth spurt, and his weight gain eventually influenced the types of roles he was offered in films, often casting him as villains or comedic characters due to his larger physique. However, Hung's toughness led him back to the business as a stuntman and fight director in a flash. Later, he recalled the formative experience in interviews and autobiographical writings and discussed appreciative lessons he learned from it and its impact on how he worked in film. His time at the China Drama Academy and recovery from the injury were dramatized in the 1988 film Painted Faces, which depicted the tough realities of training under stringent conditions. His Sammo nickname, meaning 3 hairs, was based on a popular Chinese comic hero and reflected his heavy build. Despite his early triumphs, the late 1980s presented further struggles. While Hung enjoyed success with films like Project A, 1983, and Dragons Forever, 1988, the rise of Jackie Chan's international fame began to overshadow his own achievements. With Chan's career rising to the top, however, Hung's commercial success started to decline, with movie titles like Pantyhose Hero, 1990, and Slickers vs. Killers, 1991, failing both critically and commercially. This shift led to tensions between the two friends, but Hung remained active in the industry, continuing to take on various roles in front of and behind the camera, adapting to the changing landscape of martial arts cinema. Beyond popularity decline, Hung also suffered financially as a producer. Having founded his own production company, Bohu Films, he continued to try to forge new avenues for himself and others. Yet most of his works lost budget. With the retreat of funding for Into the Fire, 1991, Golden Harvest ended a long and successful collaboration with one of the film production studios that had been instrumental in launching his career. This financial setback forced Hung to reconsider his position within the industry. Due to the changing scenario of the film industry in the early 1990s, Hung's work transitioned from acting to backstage jobs. He became more involved in action choreography and mentoring younger talent. And he also began directing films that capitalized on new trends within the martial arts genre. Nevertheless, the change was difficult because he had to fight against new filmmakers who were rewriting the trajectory of the genre. Despite these difficulties, Hung experienced a resurgence in popularity in the late 1990s with his role in the American television series Martial Law, which ran from 1998 to 2000. Although the show provided him with significant exposure to Western audiences, Hung eventually left due to dissatisfaction with the writing. In recent years, Hung has enjoyed another resurgence in both acting and directing. His past as an action choreographer in IP Man, 2008, and its sequels made him a media sensation once again, and he returned to the director's chair with The Bodyguard, 2016. After almost 2 decades. He also starred in notable films such as Call of Heroes 2016 and God of War 2017, proving that he still possessed the charisma and skill that had once made him a beloved figure in martial arts cinema. Hung's impact on the genre has been highlighted extensively and awarded many recognition such as a Lifetime Achievement Award at the New York Asian Film Festival 2010. His impact is not limited to his own work, as he has trained hundreds of young actors and stunt people who have evolved the genre even now. Hung's personal life woes. However, despite these professional resurgences, Hung's personal life faced significant challenges. His first marriage to Jo Eun-ok, a Korean woman, began in 1973, and together they had 4 children, 3 sons, Timmy, Jimmy, and Sammy, and a daughter, Stephanie. Unfortunately, their marriage ended in divorce in 1994 after 21 years. This separation occurred during a particularly difficult period in Hung's career when he was transitioning from a successful actor and director to facing a decline in the Hong Kong film industry. Stress emanating from his professional problems probably played a role in the collapse of the relationship. Following his divorce from Jo Yun-ok, Sammo Hung entered a relationship with Joyce Godenze, a former Miss Hong Kong, which began during a challenging period in his career. Professional cooperation between the two started with the 1987 film Eastern Condors, in which Godenze performed the role of a Vietnamese guerrilla fighter despite never having trained in martial arts. As their professional relationship blossomed, their personal connection deepened, and they married in 1995. Despite the solid foundation of their relationship, their partnership also faced pressures. Godenze's shift from fashion modeling to acting under Hung's direction propelled her into the limelight, adding a layer of complexity to her personal and professional relations. Nevertheless, their relationship persists, and they have continued to be in a relationship for decades. Hung's working life has been one of constant tension between responsibilities in and outside the workplace. Extended hours running, set with times away from the family, led to strains on his relationships. Hung has expressed regret in interviews over not being able to spend enough time with his children during their formative years due to his busy filming schedule. As his children grew older, some even pursuing careers in entertainment, Hung navigated the complexities of supporting them as both a father and mentor, while continuing to manage his own career. His son, Sammo Hung, followed in his footsteps by becoming an actor and martial artist, adding another layer of complexity to their relationship as they shared similar professional ambitions. In addition to career pressures, health challenges have impacted Hung's personal life. He underwent an emergency heart surgery in 2010 because of its associated complications with his obesity and unhealthy lifestyles. This health scare forced him to reconsider his approach to both his physical well-being and his relationships with family and loved ones, prompting a re-evaluation of his priorities. Bruce Lee's early life and career. Now let's turn to Lee. Bruce Lee, born Lee Junfan on November 27, 1940 in San Francisco, California, is widely regarded as one of the most influential martial artists and cultural icons of the 20th century. Lee's father, Lee Hoi Chun, was a Cantonese opera singer, and his mother, Grace Ho, was of Eurasian lineage. Lee's birth occurred during the Hour of the Dragon, a detail that would later influence his nickname, Little Dragon. Lee's family returned to Hong Kong shortly after his birth, where he spent much of his childhood. Growing up in a theatrical family, he was exposed to the world of film early on. By the age of 3 months, Lee made his first appearance in a film as a stand-in for an American baby in Golden Gate Girl, 1941. This early exposure to filmography represented the start of his lifelong involvement with the entertainment business. Bruce, as an early child actor, made about 20 films between 1946 and 1958. His early roles included co-starring with his father in The Kid, 1950, which marked his first leading role. Despite this exposure to cinema, Bruce faced challenges typical of many children in the entertainment industry. Lee's mixed background led to feelings of inadequacy and insecurity during his childhood. He was often teased by peers for his appearance and heritage, which contributed to his struggle with self-identity. These early experiences of feeling like an outsider instilled in him a determination to prove himself and assert his identity through martial arts and performance. As a teenager, Bruce faced significant bullying from British students at school. His small stature and mixed heritage made him an easy target for ridicule. In response to this bullying, he joined a street gang as a means of self-defense. This decision marked a turning point in his life as it led him into a world of street fighting and rebellion against authority figures. His involvement in street fights became increasingly frequent during this period. Lee's competitive spirit often led him to confrontations with rival gangs, which resulted in numerous altercations. In one notable incident in 1958, after a challenge from a rival martial arts school, Lee engaged in a rooftop fight that escalated dramatically. The aftermath involved police intervention when the parents of his opponent filed a complaint against him, prompting his mother to take responsibility for his actions at the police station. Bruce's rebellious nature extended into his academic life as well. He attended several schools throughout his youth, including LaSalle College and St. Francis Xavier College. However, he struggled with academic performance and discipline at these institutions. Teachers described him as lazy and stubborn, often leading to conflicts with authority figures. His disruptive behavior resulted in multiple expulsions from prestigious schools in Hong Kong. Despite these setbacks, Bruce found solace in martial arts training under the guidance of Master Yip Man. His need for discipline and focus drew him to Wing Chun Kung Fu at the age of 13. This style of Southern Chinese Kung Fu emphasizes close-range combat and powerful strikes, making it particularly suitable for someone of Bruce's stature. Bruce's training with Yip Man marked a significant turning point in his life. Under Yip's guidance, he developed essential skills such as speed, reflexes, and psychological resilience. The training not only equipped him with practical fighting techniques, but also instilled a sense of discipline and focus that would serve him well throughout his life. As Bruce honed his martial arts skills, he began participating in local competitions. His competitive spirit drove him to engage in street fights as well, which were common among youths in Hong Kong at the time. These experiences further shaped his approach to martial arts as a means of personal empowerment and self-improvement. By the age of 16, he had gained enough confidence and capability to defend himself effectively against multiple opponents. Despite his growing prowess in martial arts, Bruce continued to face social challenges. His mixed heritage often led to reluctance among some students to train with him at Yip Man's school due to prevailing attitudes about race within the martial arts community. However, this adversity motivated him to seek private lessons from Yip Man and other senior students like Wang Shun Liang. Lee's martial arts training was complemented by his interest in dance. He won the Hong Kong Cha-Cha Championship at age 18. This combination of skills helped him develop exceptional footwork and body coordination, essential attributes for both dancing and martial arts. Bruce Lee's father, Lee Hoi Chun, was a well-known Cantonese opera singer who had high expectations for his son. The pressure to succeed in the arts was palpable within the family dynamic. Bruce's early exposure to performance through his father's career laid the groundwork for his future endeavors, but also created expectations that he felt compelled to meet. After facing continuous disciplinary issues at school due to his rebellious behavior and street fighting incidents, Bruce's parents decided it was time for a drastic change. In April 1959, facing ongoing conflicts with local gangs and police due to street fighting incidents, Bruce's parents decided to send him to live with family and friends in San Francisco, United States, with the message that it was time for him to sink or swim. This move marked a significant turning point in his life. In the United States, he worked as a waiter while continuing his education. He eventually relocated to Seattle, Washington, where he finished high school at Edison Technical School and enrolled at the University of Washington to study philosophy. During this time, Bruce began teaching Wing Chun informally and established himself as a skilled practitioner within the local community. His passion for Kung Fu grew alongside his academic pursuits. By 1964, he opened his first official martial arts school, the Jun Fan Kung Fu Institute, out of his home in Seattle. This marked a significant milestone in his career as he transitioned from student to teacher. The school focused on Lee's interpretation of Wing Chun and attracted a diverse group of students eager to learn from him. Lee's teaching style emphasized practical self-defense techniques over traditional forms, reflecting his belief that martial arts should be adaptable and relevant to real-world situations. He encouraged students to explore their own paths rather than strictly adhere to traditional methods. This philosophy would later crystallize into what he termed Jeet Kune Do, way of the intercepting fist, which rejected rigid structures in favor of fluidity and practicality. As Bruce Lee's reputation as a martial artist and instructor grew, so did his student base. He expanded his influence by opening a second school in Oakland, California, where he continued to teach Junfan Kung Fu. During this period, he also began giving private lessons to celebrities such as Steve McQueen and James Coburn, which further enhanced his visibility in both the martial arts community and Hollywood. Lee's approach to martial arts was revolutionary. He integrated techniques from boxing, fencing, and other disciplines, creating a more comprehensive and adaptable fighting system. He believed that martial artists should be free to draw from different styles rather than confine themselves to one method. A pivotal moment in his career came at the 1964 Long Beach International Karate Championships, where Lee showcased his extraordinary skills through demonstrations like the famous one-inch punch and two-finger push-ups. These performances captivated audiences and solidified his status as a formidable martial artist. However, the event also marked a turning point in Lee's journey as it brought him into conflict with the traditional Chinese martial arts community. His decision to teach non-Chinese students was met with resistance, culminating in a controversial challenge match against Wong Jackman, a direct student of Yip Man. The fight was meant to settle disputes over Lee's right to teach outside of traditional boundaries. Although accounts of the match vary, with some claiming it lasted 20 to 25 minutes and others stating it was a brief 3-minute encounter, Lee emerged victorious, reinforcing his belief in the need for martial arts to evolve. In January 1970, as Lee's star began to rise in the film industry, he decided to close his Chinatown Kung Fu school, not due to his growing film career as commonly believed, but to preserve the integrity of Jeet Kune Do. He feared that formalizing the style into a traditional system would limit its dynamic and evolving nature. After closing the school, Lee continued to teach privately, stressing to students that Jeet Kune Do should not be commercialized or structured. He encouraged them to discover their paths in martial arts, rather than adhere to rigid frameworks. Concord Productions, Inc. Despite his rising fame, Bruce Lee faced significant cultural challenges in Hollywood. Racial stereotypes limited the roles available to him, and his aspirations to lead major film projects were often thwarted by producers' reluctance to cast an Asian lead. His frustration peaked when he was passed over for the lead role in the television series Kung Fu, which went to David Carradine instead. In response, Lee sought greater creative control over his work, and in 1971 established Concord Productions, Inc. with Raymond Chow. Holding a majority stake in the company, Lee aimed to produce films that reflected his vision and solidified his place in both martial arts and cinema. Concord Productions played a pivotal role in bringing Lee's artistic vision to the screen, producing some of his most iconic films. Lee served as producer, writer, director, and lead actor for Way of the Dragon, 1972, which featured the legendary fight scene between Lee and Chuck Norris in the Colosseum in Rome. This film further cemented Lee's global status as a martial arts icon, showcasing his innovative approach to fighting choreography. His creative autonomy allowed him to deeply influence all aspects of production, ensuring his philosophy of martial arts was accurately represented. The success of Way of the Dragon and subsequent projects gave Lee the freedom to pursue his ideas. After Way of the Dragon, he began work on Game of Death, but production was interrupted when he was offered the lead role in Enter the Dragon, a landmark film and the first-ever Hong Kong-American co-production. Enter the Dragon became a massive success, further solidifying Lee's legacy as a global cinematic force. Death of Bruce Lee and posthumous movie productions. Tragically, Bruce Lee's life was cut short on July 20, 1973, when he died after suffering a severe allergic reaction to a medication he took for a headache. At just 32 years old, his sudden death shocked the world. The official cause was cerebral edema, likely triggered by the reaction to the prescription medication. His untimely passing raised questions about the toll of stress and overexertion, particularly given his intense training regimen and work schedule. Though Concord Productions ceased operations after Bruce Lee's death, its impact endures, especially through its contribution to Game of Death. Originally conceived as a showcase of Lee's martial arts philosophy, the film featured a unique narrative where Lee's character ascends a tower, facing opponents who each represented a distinct martial arts style. This structure allowed Lee to demonstrate the adaptability of Jeet Kune Do, emphasizing fluidity, practicality, and self-expression in combat. Following Lee's death, there was a strong desire to finish Game of Death. While key sequences, including fight scenes with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Don Inosanto, were filmed, much of the movie remained incomplete. To finish it, producers used existing footage, editing, look-alikes, and stunt doubles. Archival footage from Lee's past films was included, and voiceovers were added for missing lines. Released posthumously in 1978, 5 years after Lee's death, Game of Death received mixed reviews but remains iconic, especially the final act showcasing Lee's martial arts philosophy and fighting styles. Despite its flaws, Game of Death reinforced Bruce Lee's status as a cultural icon and solidified his influence in martial arts cinema. The film, along with other posthumous works, ensured Lee's legacy lived on, continuing to inspire martial artists worldwide. Shannon Lee's posthumous film production of Her Dad. Shannon Lee, Bruce Lee's daughter, has worked to preserve his legacy, notably through the production of the television series Warrior, based on her father's original concept from the late 1960s. Lee had pitched a series to Warner Brothers about a martial artist in San Francisco's Chinatown, aiming to challenge stereotypes and give Asian characters leading roles during a time of racial discrimination, especially before the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882. Although Lee's series did not materialize during his lifetime, Shannon Lee revived the idea in 2015, partnering with Perfect Storm Entertainment to develop Warrior as a television series. The show modernized Lee's concept while staying true to themes of cultural identity, resilience, and resistance against adversity. Shannon Lee served as an executive producer, ensuring that her father's vision was honored throughout the production process. The series was directed by Justin Lin, known for his work on the Fast and Furious franchise, which brought a contemporary cinematic style to the project. Filming began in October 2017 in Cape Town, South Africa, and Warrior premiered on April 5, 2019 on Cinemax. The narrative of Warrior follows Assam, a martial artist who arrives in San Francisco's Chinatown in search of his sister. The series explores themes of immigration, identity, and cultural conflict, while also showcasing strong female characters like Atoy and Mai Ling, whose complex roles reflect the nuanced position of women during that historical period. These characters provided depth and agency, resonating with modern audiences. Upon its release, Warrior received critical acclaim for its choreography, storytelling, and authentic representation of Asian culture. Despite initial challenges with viewership numbers, which led Cinemax to cease original programming, the show's future was revived by fan outcry and petitions advocating for its continuation. As a result, Warrior was picked up by HBO Max for further seasons. Shannon Lee has said that part of the show's resonance stems from its timely exploration of anti-Asian sentiment in the United States, particularly during the pandemic. Many viewers found empowerment in seeing characters who fought against oppression and stood up for their rights during a period marked by increased racism against Asian communities. The success of Warrior has allowed Shannon Lee to continue her father's legacy while addressing contemporary issues faced by Asian Americans. Beyond her work on Warrior, she has been involved in various initiatives aimed at promoting Bruce Lee's philosophy through education and community engagement. As president of the Bruce Lee Foundation, Shannon focuses on preserving her father's teachings and promoting martial arts as a means of personal development. She also plans to expand on her father's legacy with new projects, including an anime series titled House of Lee, which will explore themes of martial arts and identity. Sammo Hung's revelation of Bruce Lee. Turning to Sammo Hung, he has often spoken warmly about his experiences with Bruce Lee, recalling their shared history, mutual respect, and the impact Lee had on his career. The two first met in the early 1970s while both were working in the Hong Kong film industry. Their initial encounter occurred on the set of Fist of Fury, where Ho Hung was working as a stuntman. This meeting sparked a friendly rivalry between the two martial artists, and Ho Hung recounted a memorable incident where he challenged Lee's renowned speed. Ho Hung asked Lee if he was truly as fast as rumors suggested, and Lee responded by executing a kick that nearly connected with Ho Hung's face before he could react. Ho Hung later described this experience as an eye-opening moment, remarking, "I said you really fast. He was very fast." Ho Hung also worked with Bruce Lee on Enter the Dragon, 1973, where he played a martial artist who was defeated by Lee's character in the film's opening fight scene. Reflecting on this experience, Sammo expressed deep admiration for Lee's professionalism and dedication to his craft, noting that working with him was not only an honor, but also an educational experience that influenced his own approach to martial arts choreography and performance. Sammo Hung has often emphasized that Bruce Lee was more than just a colleague. Lee was a hero and a profound source of inspiration. He admired Lee's ability to blend martial arts with cinematic storytelling, which helped elevate the genre and change global perceptions of martial arts in film. Ho Hung stated that Lee's impact on him, both personally and professionally, was immense. The untimely death of Bruce Lee on July 20, 1973, left a significant mark on Sammo Hung and the broader martial arts community. Ho Hung has expressed his deep heartbreak over the loss of such an influential figure at such a young age. He reflected on the sense of loss not only for his friend, but also for the potential future collaborations that were lost with Lee's passing. Ho Hung also acknowledged how Lee's death created a void in the martial arts world, as Lee was seen as a pioneer who broke barriers for Asian actors in Hollywood and reshaped global perceptions of martial arts. In addition to sharing personal anecdotes about Bruce Lee, Sammo Hung has made it his mission to continue promoting the legacy of martial arts that Lee helped popularize. He emphasizes the importance of maintaining authenticity in martial arts cinema while adapting to modern trends. Through his own films and productions, Ho Hung aims to honor the principles that Bruce Lee espoused, including discipline, respect, and innovation. His work as an actor and director has been instrumental in keeping the spirit of traditional martial arts alive, while also infusing it with contemporary elements that resonate with new generations of audiences. Bruce Lee's influence remains a guiding force in Sammo Hung's career and creative endeavors. What are your thoughts on Bruce Lee's life? Share below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more stories. Thanks for watching.